In 2012, Mark Zuckerberg faced a choice every dominant platform faces. Facebook owned social networking. But what if someone else owned the next social network? In 1 year, Instagram went from 0 to 100 million users. Snapchat was coming. WhatsApp was exploding. So Zuckerberg did what Standard Oil did in 1880 when competitors multiplied faster than Rockefeller could acquire them. He didn't outcompete them. He acquired them. The archives call this horizontal consolidation. The playbook never changed, only the technology. By 2024, Facebook, now Meta, controls 3 billion people through Instagram, WhatsApp, and Messenger combined. That's not growth, that's territory consolidation. And if you understand how Rockefeller ate every oil refinery in America, you understand exactly why this happened and why it'll happen again. The mechanism starts with dominance in one category. Rockefeller controlled 90% of American oil refining by 1880. Facebook controlled social networking by 2010. Once you've won that position, competition doesn't disappear. It mutates. It emerges in adjacent categories. New platforms launch. Users fragment. The dominant player faces a choice: evolve faster than everyone else or eliminate the alternatives. Most choose evolution. Rockefeller chose elimination. Instagram was founded in October 2010. By December 2011, it had 100 million users. Let that sit. A service that didn't exist 2 years prior had the same user base it took Facebook 5 years to build. And Instagram had something Facebook didn't: youth. The demographic that would define the next decade was choosing a different interface, a different culture, a different ecosystem. Facebook's growth was slowing. Its core demographic was aging. And here was Instagram, looking exactly like Facebook, was about to become irrelevant. Zuckerberg saw the pattern. He offered $1 billion. Instagram was worth nothing on paper, no revenue, no profitable mechanism. But Zuckerberg understood something investors missed. In a platform economy, potential users are assets. Instagram wasn't a company. It was 100 million people voting with their attention. The board of Facebook, Axel Partners, Greylock, Peter Thiel's firm, didn't care about Instagram's revenue. They understood the mechanism. You don't buy companies in a consolidation play. You buy market share. You buy time. You buy the alternative that might have competed with you. $1 billion felt high. But the cost of losing Instagram to a competitor, or worse, letting it become the dominant social platform while Facebook aged, was extinction. Zuckerberg closed the deal in April 2012. Within 3 years, Instagram generated more engagement, more photos uploaded, more interactions than Facebook's core platform. Within 5 years, Instagram revenue dwarfed Facebook's original business model. The acquisition wasn't about revenue. It was about eliminating the next threat before it became an existential one. But Instagram was only the first stage. The mechanism demands scaling. Rockefeller didn't buy one competitor and stop. He bought 140 refineries across 3 decades. The system isn't satisfied with dominance. It's hungry for totality. WhatsApp emerged in 2009. By 2013, it had 250 million users. Think about that number. A messaging service had nearly as many users as Facebook itself. But more importantly, WhatsApp was a different category entirely. It wasn't social. It was intimate. You didn't broadcast on WhatsApp. You sent a message to one person. It was encrypted. It was private. It was everything Facebook wasn't. And more critically, WhatsApp existed outside of Facebook's ecosystem. You didn't need a Facebook account to use WhatsApp. The network effects that powered Facebook, the compulsion to join because everyone was there, didn't apply. For platforms, this is a choke point. If a user's most frequent communication happens on WhatsApp instead of Facebook Messenger, that user is spending attention elsewhere. They're not seeing ads. They're not engaging with Facebook's content algorithm. They're not part of the system. And every user WhatsApp converted was a user leaving Facebook's gravity. Zuckerberg made an offer in February 2014, $19 billion. Let's be precise about this number. In 1880, Rockefeller paid approximately $3 million to buy out 22 competing oil refineries in a single coordinated assault known as the Cleveland Massacre. Adjusted for inflation, that's roughly $90 million in modern money. One deal, 22 competitors. The strategy was speed and overwhelming capital. You didn't negotiate with all of them. You made a crushing offer to a few, used their capitulation to intimidate the others, and finished the consolidation before the market could organize a counter-movement. Zuckerberg's $19 billion WhatsApp bid operated on identical logic. The number was irrelevant to Facebook's actual valuation. WhatsApp had no revenue, no profit mechanism. It was a messaging app that cost users 99 cents per year. But the number wasn't about WhatsApp's worth. It was a message. It was Zuckerberg telling every other potential platform, I will outbid you. I will overpay. I will eliminate threats through capital dominance. WhatsApp's founders, John Combe and Brian Acton, accepted. The acquisition closed in October 2014. Zuckerberg now controlled Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, 3 different interfaces, 3 different user bases, 3 different categories of attention. Combined, over 1 billion people. Different languages, different cultures, different compulsions that drove engagement. All of them funneled value back to one entity. The pattern now had momentum. Snapchat was growing, Telegram was expanding, TikTok didn't exist yet, but the principle was clear. Every platform that wasn't Facebook was a potential vector of attention lost to Facebook's ecosystem. The consolidation wasn't complete, it was just accelerating. Oculus entered the picture differently. Founded by Palmer Luckey in 2012, Oculus was building virtual reality, not social, but potentially the interface layer of the future. If virtual reality became how people interacted with the internet, then whoever owned the VR platform owned the gateway to human attention in the next era. Zuckerberg acquired Oculus in March 2014 for $2 billion. This is where horizontal consolidation becomes vertical. You're not just buying competitors in your category. You're acquiring the infrastructure of the next category. Rockefeller didn't stop at refineries. He built pipelines. He built railroads. He built the delivery networks that ensured that even if competitors existed, they were dependent on his infrastructure to reach customers. Oculus was a bet on the interface layer. If virtual reality became dominant, whoever built the platform would own access to users at the moment of engagement. That's the ultimate choke point. Not owning the social network, not owning the messaging app, owning the medium itself. By 2016, Facebook had spent roughly $23 billion acquiring threats before they matured into actual competition. Vertical consolidation, owning refining, distribution, and retail, made Rockefeller powerful. But horizontal consolidation, owning every competitor in the market, made him unstoppable. He didn't need to innovate. He just needed to acquire faster than innovation could emerge. Here's the mechanism spelled out. Dominance in one category creates capital surplus. Capital surplus enables acquisitions at any price. Acquisitions at any price eliminate alternatives before they become threats. Elimination of alternatives preserves market dominance. Preserved dominance generates more capital. The cycle compounds. By the end of it, you don't have a company, you have a system. By 2024, if you use Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or Oculus, you're not choosing platforms. You're choosing which subsidiary of Meta to feed. The choice itself is an illusion created by the acquisition strategy. You think you're making independent decisions. You're engaging with a portfolio of properties designed to eliminate alternative choices. In every action you take, every message on WhatsApp, every story on Instagram, every post on Facebook, flows data back to the same parent entity. Not because of innovation, not because of superior engineering, because of horizontal consolidation spanning a decade and $23 billion in acquisitions. This is what makes the strategy inescapable. You don't need the service to be the best. You need to acquire every service that could become the best. You don't need to innovate. You need to buy innovation. You don't need to convince users to choose you. You need to eliminate the alternatives so the choice becomes meaningless. Rockefeller understood this in 1880. He didn't build a better refinery. He bought 140 of them. By 1911, when the Supreme Court finally broke up Standard Oil, the verdict came too late. The consolidation was already complete. The subsidiaries were entrenched. The infrastructure was built. You could break up the holding company and create Standard Oil of California, Standard Oil of New York, Standard Oil of Indiana. But the operating system, the consolidated logistics, the pipeline networks, the distribution agreements, all of it remained. Breaking up the company didn't break the mechanism. Facebook faces antitrust scrutiny. Regulators ask, did you unfairly acquire Instagram and WhatsApp? But the legal question misses the structural question. Even if Instagram and WhatsApp were forced to separate today, Facebook's consolidation isn't reversed. The users are already integrated, the data is already collected, the ecosystem is already built. You can't unlearn the platform you've been using. You can't spontaneously transfer your contact graph to a competitor the moment a court order requires separation. This is the final lesson of horizontal consolidation. It's not about owning one market, it's about controlling the switching costs. Rockefeller's refineries could have been split apart. But by then, every gas station, every railroad, every industrial plant was built around Standard Oil's logistics. Switching meant rebuilding America's entire infrastructure. By 2024, switching away from Meta's ecosystem means abandoning your contact graph, your photos, your messages, your social capital. The switching cost isn't technical, it's existential. The consolidation isn't just a business strategy. It's a trap with the infrastructure already built. And the pattern isn't done. TikTok emerged. Threads launched. Every new platform is potential consolidation. Meta's acquisition strategy has evolved. Sometimes it's direct acquisition. Sometimes it's feature replication. Copying TikTok's algorithm into Instagram Reels, forcing users to choose between the original and the integrated version. Sometimes it's infrastructure pricing, where Meta subsidizes its services in developing markets to eliminate the possibility of local competitors. The mechanism is patient. It's also relentless, because the archives show this pattern repeating across centuries. Rockefeller's consolidation of refining, Carnegie's consolidation of steel, JP Morgan's consolidation of banking. The names change, the technology changes, the power mechanism doesn't. We're not approaching horizontal consolidation, we're in it. And every time you choose which Meta subsidiary to use, you're voting for the system that eliminated the choice. This is the Gilded Archives. History's ledgers show us which page we're on, and the archives already know how this chapter ends.